current era of Marvel Comics, DC too, but let's talk about Marvel. They don't like this. They don't like functional relationships for the most part, right? And they don't know how to handle an atmosphere where, despite you having a hero that's in a relationship, the relationship itself can go through these trials and tribulations, but not such fact that shows that it's of dysfunction, if that makes sense. This is why they don't know what to do with the Fantastic Four, because the Fantastic Four is generally a not just with Reed or Sue, but more so with the fact that that is Marvel's first family, and they have a family atmosphere, despite not all of them being all but one, I guess, being related. And then they brought in, the two kids and shit, and one's happened to be a mutant. They don't know what to do because they don't know how to handle functional relationships. Now, I have a guess as to why that is. I think a lot of these weirdos themselves don't know what that looks like. A lot of them come from the writers nowadays come from broken homes and all of that shit. And also they have themselves not been in a functional relationship. So they don't know how or what that looks like. This story is about to sound fucking crazy as hell, but it's true. Oh, it's true. It's damn true. Check this out. So Marvel, they did reboot The Amazing Spider-Man. Okay. So issue 1, this is what the direction that they're going. Now, yes, it's comics. They could make it seem like it's something that it's not. But I tell you what, I would not at all be surprised if this is the direction that they go. So, as it says right here, coming from CBR, Peter Parker's relationship problems are taking a turn for the worse. As the end of Marvel's Amazing Spider-Man #1 reveals that Mary Jane has 2 children and appears to be romantically involved with another person. The Amazing Spider-Man finds Peter struggling to put his life together as he's cast out by some of his closest friend allies. They do not like Peter Parker, man. The exact reasoning as to why Peter is suddenly turned away by everyone hasn't yet been fully revealed, but the issue does allude to the fact that Peter and MJ have broken up at the end of The Amazing Spider-Man issue #1. Peter stands outside of MJ's apartment but decides not to enter. MJ secretly watches from above before she turns the attention to someone named Paul and 2 children. One of them bears a striking resemblance to MJ, who call her mommy. And you can see this right here. Well, apparently, I guess that's Peter, who she's looking at. This art sucks, by the way. Damn, like, why does the art so bad? Like, her head's massive right here. For y'all that barely can see it, I'm sorry. But this guy walks in and he says, MJ, he asks MJ, are you okay? She says, yes, I'm good, Paul. You're going to need to do better than good. I can't hold them off any longer. And then, of course, you have a child, one of which looks like MJ. Yeah, one of them calls her mommy. Now, look, like I said, I don't know. I don't know what direction they're going to go. They could easily pivot on this and say that Andrew, a guy on my team, said it looks like Sean King, and it does. He does look like a white man like Sean King. What the fuck are y'all doing over there? But yeah, this is what you're getting. And we'll see if they pivot on it, because the comic books, this is, again, let's be clear, they do that kind of stuff. Like, it's all about shock value and everything. But don't think that there wouldn't be some way that, I don't know if it's all she entered into this relationship and, you know what I mean? Now she's with some guy and they're seeing her as like a stepmother or some shit like that. Absolutely could be on the table. Absolutely could be on the table. It wouldn't be bizarre. It'd be bizarre, but not in the sense of like would be completely out of left field for today's comic book, especially, again, considering that definitely in the recent decade, they have like pride themselves on dysfunctional relationships. Like they don't know how to handle heroes. Not to say that every hero needs to be in one. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that they don't know how to handle one in a functional and what that looks like, especially a heterosexual one. They have no idea how to handle that. And like I mentioned earlier, I have my own guesses and my own thoughts. So, yes, MJ is apparently, as presented right now in the first issue, we'll keep up with it, see what happens. I mean, I'm not buying that shit and reading it. I suggest you wouldn't do that either. Why give this company any fucking money? But don't at all be surprised if this is something that is more canon than it ever is. It's not about, okay, them just simply breaking up. It's that, okay, we know Peter's had previous relationships before, we know the Gwens of the world. We know that and what's happened. However, MJ has become like the mainstay of, okay, this is his love interest, and they have no idea how to handle it after or can't allow them to be in a continued functional relationship because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. So it's going to be interesting.
You just listened to a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake, which is live throughout the week at 12 p.m. Central on youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. Be sure to check out my website, ericdjuly.com, so you can stay up to date with everything it is that I'm doing. You can also become a member and get access to a bunch of cool perks and exclusive content, which includes a social media hub where you can interact with myself and other members. It even has an app that you can get, which is now live in the Google and Apple stores.